Welcome to Uncommon Analysis. Today I want to take a few minutes to talk about the beginning of Donald Trump's term. As you know, Monday he was sworn into office, and Donald Trump came in like a lion. Make no mistake about it, he did not come in timid, shy, or hesitant. He came in both barrels blasting, and he held nothing back, giving a inauguration speech that was definitely more like a campaign speech or a State of the Union speech, where he laid out what he intended to do and held nothing back on it. Let's listen to a little bit of it.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came. We will reinstate my Remain in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release. And I will send troops to the southern border to repel the disastrous invasion of our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. And by invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, I will direct our government to use the full and immense power of federal and state law enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. As Commander-in-Chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasions, and that is exactly what I am going to do. We will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices. The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices, and that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
I could go on, but I'm sure you could see the whole thing elsewhere. But as you can see, he came out swinging. This was not a gracious speech of, thanks, I'm going to do my best, thank you. This was, I'm doing this, I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing, and I'm doing it today. I know DC's not used to that, politics is not used to that. People make all kinds of promises on the campaign trail, and then when they get to DC, they basically just ignore most of them. This is Trump saying, F you to that. We are going to hit these and hit these hard. He knows why he got elected. He knows he has to deliver on these things. And he knows he's going to get criticized by the left no matter what he does. The most embarrassing thing of this video is these two right here. They had to sit and listen to him tear them apart, which is bad enough. But when he says, I'm going to do something about these problems that neither one of those people did a damn thing about for 4 years other than make them. And let's face it, the immigration crisis is a direct result of this pudding head removing Trump's remain in Mexico policy day one. And then for years claiming he needed congressional approval to do anything about it, to only not get it and then finally reinstate policies very similar to what Trump had already done. And it stemmed it. These people and the people around them and their administration are embarrassments. This man, he puts America. No, he doesn't. This doesn't care about America. If he cared about America, he would not have done what he did. But I don't really get too mad at him because we all know there's not a whole lot between the ears there. He's just a dementia puppet. He's not been in control of his faculties from day one. This entire administration has been a fraud and a scam. And it's unfathomable that this happened in America. The entire Democratic Party lied and covered up and put a man completely mentally incompetent in the White House. They put a dementia puppet in the White House and basically let people who are unelected and behind the scenes do whatever they wanted, and they have wrecked this country for 4 years. Now, this was a major victory. And this speech, absolutely, the people that want the traditional speech and the people that expect business as usual, I'm sure many of them are outraged. Trump later on went on that day and signed over 200 different executive orders that did all kinds of things. Probably one of the most controversial, and he's probably going to get heat for it the most, is at least the reaction so far has been his pretty much blanket pardoning of everybody involved in January 6th. And I'll be honest, I believe most of January 6th people were nothing more than trespassers. They weren't violent offenders. They went into we know this now, not because the January 6th committee told us the truth, but because the video has come out since, that the majority of people walked through an open door in the back. They walked around peacefully. They obeyed the velvet rope. Most of these people were not violent. The people that were violent, the people that engaged in different violent activities and busted out windows and attacked police, I don't necessarily agree they should have been blanketly pardoned. And that's what they seem to be latching onto is this everybody got pardoned. Just about everybody got pardoned. Or clemency. And I tend to agree that the violent ones should not be. They should face punishment. However, I have a hard time with the selected outrage on the left over these pardons because they have sat quietly by and defended, not only sat quiet, but even defended this potato for brain, literally pardoning and granting clemency to a judge who took bribes to send children to jail. No, I'm not making that up. A man who took bribes, a corrupt judge, took money to send children to jail, and that potato head pardoned him. And they defended it. They weren't outraged at that. Pedophiles and sex traffickers, he's given clemency to, and they didn't get offended by that. Multiple murderers, woman who killed Black Widow, killed multiple husbands, collect insurance money, pardoned by this man. They weren't upset about that. But this is what they get upset about. So excuse me if I don't trust your outrage there, lefties, because it's inconsistent. It's selective outrage. I said I would probably agree with you on people getting clemency that probably shouldn't have in these blanket pardons that Trump has offered. But because your outrage is selective, you have no credibility. Anyway, so Trump went on, hundreds of more, I think about 200 or more executive orders were signed over the course of the day. More, I'm sure, are coming. He's hitting the ground running. He's coming in unlike 2016, where he was very timid, unfortunately, he trusted some of the wrong people. The establishment Republicans were just as bad as the Democrats and took their advice and largely screwed stuff. He has said no. He stripped, one of the other things he did is strip the security clearances of all 51 of those people who lied to the American people about the Hunter Biden laptop. Hunter Biden's laptop was in the FBI's hands for nearly a year before the election. They knew it was legitimate, and they still went out and lied because they didn't want Trump to win the presidency. All those got their security clearance stripped. Now, Biden on his side of things threw a bunch of other pardons out there. he pardoned pretty much everybody in his family for anything.
Were Biden's brother and sister-in-law, James and Sarah Jones Biden, his sister, Valerie Biden Owens, and her husband, John. Frank Biden, his youngest sibling, was also included. So too was Dr. Anthony Fauci, the US COVID response chief, plus all who investigated the January 6 riots and those who later testified, including former Capitol Police officer Harry Dunn. And from across the aisle, Republicans who turned their back on Trump, Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney.
Now, their defense of that is that, well, Trump's going to come after him, so I'm going to give him blanket pardon so they can't. When in reality, it's a pure admission that everything you were told about January 6th was pretty much a lie. And we all know the Biden family is corrupt. They've been corrupt for years and years and years. The evidence is there. I mean, you really think Hunter Biden produces artwork worth a couple $100,000 a pop, or got millions of dollars from Burisma to be on their board in a field of operation he has no experience in? No. It was basically selling access and pocketing money, and his whole family's been doing it for years. They are corrupt. This was the most corrupt administration of certainly my lifetime, and I'm not a young spring chicken. So they're going to claim it's to keep Trump from going after him. No, this is about protecting the corruption. That's all this was. We know the January 6th committee lied out their asses. We know they told falsehoods. We know it was all about trying to destroy Trump politically. That's all it was about. And, yep, so he pardoned him out the door. So, yep, the embarrassment and failure of the last 4 years goes out the door, failing big as well. Anyway, Trump's in. Trump's fighting hard. Trump's hit the ground running. It's going to be real fun to watch. The left is already just going screaming, crying, and crazy already, and it's only day, 2? Now, granted, they've lost most of their ecosystem around them. That you noticed, right? The protests are not, there aren't people in pussy hats running around by the tens of thousands. There's all the collapse of the left because of this is something to behold, because it was built on lies, and all those lies have been exposed, and there's a lot more coming, but a huge number of them exposed, and it's collapsing. Now, they're not going to go away, don't get me wrong, but the complete collapse of the quote-unquote resistance, as they like to call themselves last time, which is comical, because when the mainstream media is on your side, you're not the resistance. When the political majority, when the political establishment and the media establishment are on your side, you're not a resistance. You're the establishment. Okay, anyway, I go on, but there's no point. Hope everybody has a great day, and I am out.